Good evening. Welcome to Cryptid Crunch. I am your host, Willow Scholar. Today, we are dressed up and ready to go with our fairy tales and nursery rhymes. This is the truth behind what you may not expect a lot of these stories. And tonight we have a full house, so let's get to introducing everybody. Keisha, what's happening? How's your little bun in the oven?
Cute for the most part. So when it kicks at the top of my stomach, love it, adorable, amazing. And then it turns around and it kicks my lower regions, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. It just depends on when you ask me, but it's pretty cool. I am like going on 23 weeks, I think.
Okay.
Something like
that. Fun.
Yeah, it's a little acrobat, so.
All right, so I think this is her first appearance. Both of these girls it's their first appearance on our show, but we haven't had Dee on our show in a lot ever. So welcome, Dee and her friend.
This is Cheryl. Hi.
Good. And there's dogs roaming around, so this is going to be an interesting show.
Yeah. Oh, he's like okay. And he's late. He's fine. He's fine. Okay, we're good. We're good.
If we accidentally, it's okay. We'll sing the London Bridge song when it does go down.
Very appropriate. Very appropriate. I love it.
All right, and Kelly, welcome to the show. Yeah, I think it's your first time as well on Cryptid Crunch, right? So
I think so. So be gentle.
Oh, we're never gentle here. You're fine.
Come on.
So I'm looking forward to this, and yes, we all decided to wear crowns, which is kind of a fitting time
you
for
guys
us.
Act like I don't wear this constantly.
I know, like, come on, this is beautiful. You know, I had this in the back of my closet.
No, I have seen Dee at Publix with that on.
She's not lying.
I ain't wrong.
You know what?
Honestly, so go ahead, Kelly.
I was gonna say, Queen's got to declare who they are.
Exactly.
I kind of had that moment from The Big Bang Theory when Sheldon's girlfriend gets the crown. Put her on me! Put her on me!
Man, now I have to rewatch the entire series again because I'm obsessed with it.
Darn.
I actually thought about that earlier. We were watching Dr. Horrible Sing Along.
That is such a good show.
And so one of the people from Big Bang Theory was in it, and I was like, man, now I have to watch the whole series over again.
Hey, you want to hear something great? So, you know, I did a play here locally, and she was there. What's his name?
Who? What?
That showed up there?
Oh, that dude. Johnny Galecki was there.
Oh,
I am not lying, y'all. He came in at the same time I came in. And I was like, look at this dude. And I'm like, he looks familiar. But we live in the tiniest small little town outside of Nashville. And I was like, oh, he just looks like the dude. And then I'm like, wait a minute. That looks like the dude's wife. And I'm like, wait a minute. He has a kid. And it looks like that kid's the same age.
She's like,
yeah, she's like crazy.
Yeah,
I'm Googling and going. Pretty cool.
She's like, gee, look, I'm here to see your play.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, but did you get his autograph, or did you just kind of leave
Well,
him
I'm
be?
not that kind of person. He should have been asking for mine because we are the queens, right?
Fair.
No, I wasn't gonna rush him or
Yeah.
anything. But he did have it. He was very sweet about it. He was taking pictures with
Aw.
folks and being really nice about it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
And I was in full costume, and I was like, "There's no way." And heck, I'm going over there, and I really
She looked fabulous,
Can I
though.
hug her autograph? Like, no.
She was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I'm glad that I invited you guys out for the show because I don't have children, so I don't get to torture them with these songs and nursery rhymes and yeah.
Did you hear that, Willow? Cheryl said we'll be your children because we're not
So-
touching you.
Exactly.
Anyways, Ian Wallace is in a play of Mother Goose, and
Delightful.
Mother
Oh,
Goose,
that's awesome.
he just looks amazing. I
think
love
that's
him, and I hope to find clips of this play, and hopefully I'll be able to watch it on the internet. But Kelly, let's start with you. What nursery rhyme or song most is in your mind is the most shocking thing that we teach kids?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. So first of all, I'm gonna say there's a reason why these things are dark, and it's to communicate, to kind of give kids a gentle way to communicate the dangers around them. That's why they started doing the darker fairy tales. That's why fairy tales are so dark. But I think the one that shocked me the most was I had met and when you think about it, Humpty Dumpty was not an egg. Like in all the images, never in the nursery rhyme does it say that Humpty Dumpty is an egg. So who was Humpty Dumpty in history? Like, what is that about? I've kind of gone down a rabbit hole before, and there's different theories. Someone fell off a wall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back together. Maybe. I'm sure someone did, probably. And it's really dark. If it's not a cartoon egg.
Well, there was a reference in some of this research that I came across. Someone had referenced a cannon teetering on a wall that they called Humpty Dumpty, but I couldn't find anything really to back that up. But yeah, exactly. Like, no reference at all to him being an egg. He just appeared as an egg.
To make it, I think, a little more child friendly and fun, because it's kind of funny if it's like an Eggman and he falls. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keisha, how about you? Like, what's the most shocking story that you've been taught in your childhood?
Like most of them.
They're all bad.
Ring Around the Rosie, death.
Yep.
Rockabye Baby, death. Basically, if you name a specific song, it's about death.
Pretty much. And it seems like a lot of stories from like the Victorian era and even earlier, it has a strange connotation of, like medieval times, and I don't know. And really, it's funny how a lot of these stories have origins from like Henry the Fourth or Henry the Third, and like babies being stolen and children being locked up and
being
killed.
eaten. Like,
People being pushed down the stairs.
Wicked stepmothers. Well, historically, there was a lot of disease at that time too. So there was a lot of death for these children. I think that they were, experiencing on a regular basis. I think we talked before the show. Jacob and Willem, the Grimm brothers, actually experienced quite a bit of loss in their younger years. So
I have a picture of
there we
them.
go. Oh, such beautiful, beautiful men.
Well, I have just a little snippet into my brain because it just popped there. So if they were singing about all these things like the plague and stuff back then, what in the world is our generation going to be singing?
Oh boy.
Singing about aliens and no eggs and like
Baby got back.
I'm like, wait,
that's
Well, I mean, we're already doing it on TikTok with parody
true.
songs and with our memes. So
true.
I have no hope for the future.
Nope.
No, so speaking of the Grimm, we were talking about earlier. We were talking about the Grimm fairy tales, and Cinderella was my favorite fairy tale growing up, and I mean, still is. And then I heard about the Grimm one, and I'm like, oh dear Lord, the stepsisters like cut off their toes to fit into the slippers, and like shaved off part of their heels, and then like the crows like. Or Cinderella's birds, they peck their eyes out at the end, and
and the fact that
like
Disney has taken all these stories and kind of beautified them, but when you hear the real story of Sleeping Beauty and even Snow White, it's just like, why are we teaching them about? Why are we teaching?
So I know Sleeping Beauty. What's Snow White?
Sleeping Beauty, if I'm correct, the king raped her while she was sleeping, and she had two babies.
Yes.
That's what woke her up, was the pains of childbirth.
Yes.
Or some versions of the tale is.
How did I not know that? Now I'm traumatized.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew about that. What was the?
Snow White was they kind of do touch on it in the Disney films where the huntsman takes her to the forest, and he's supposed to cut her heart out, and to prove that he killed her. But it's just like, wow, that is really twisted. The fact that they kept that in the Disney film.
So speaking of, I know I told Willow about this, but all day Dolores and I, because I include Dolores in all of this beautiful stuff that she's going to be traumatized by. So on Netflix, on the kids part of Netflix, they have a series, okay? And it is called A Tale Dark and Grim.
No.
And oh my gosh, I was watching it all day with her, and like there's crows that narrate it, and one of them is my spirit animal. She's like, show me the gore, I want the gore. And I'm like,
oh my god.
Me as a crow. But it's a kids animated series, and as we're watching this, at one point, like, she's supposed to use a chicken bone to open up a lock in a door to go set these little boys free that were, but when she got to the door, her Hansel and Gretel, her brother Hansel was like, I lost the bone, the chicken bone we were supposed to use that the sky stars gave us. And she was like, I know what to do. And she takes out a knife. And she's like, I think it was her pinky. She's like, I got this.
No.
And the little crow, the black crow that is my spirit animal, was like, show me the gore, do it. And the other one was like, this is a kid's show, we can't do that. So like they show just they show basically her shadow chopping her finger off, and then she uses the finger to open the door, and I'm like, this is a kid's. Okay.
Wow.
Well, okay, so I've been desensitized as a kid. So, but
one of the episodes on it was how Hansel and Gretel or whatever, they go into the witch's thing and she tries to fatten them up so she can eat them. They give the backstory of the witch and why she eats children. Apparently, she had her own child, and she took the whole sniffing your baby and it's smelling so good you can eat it to a whole new level. And she ended up eating her own baby. And that is why she was obsessed with eating children. And I was like,
Oh.
what am I watching?
That's some dark stuff.
If you guys are curious, you can watch it on Netflix on the kids.
I will apologize now for any nightmares that may occur because of this topic. Yeah, no, like what is this that we're teaching children? Like
All the good things.
I've learned like the kinder version of these stories, but as you know, as my life progressed, I'm learning more and more of the truth behind a lot of these stories. Like Peter Pan, you know, who is the real villain in that story?
It's Peter Pan. That's
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell was.
Tinkerbell also.
Yeah. So, but you know, here's another question. So, did these stories help like carve the impressions we have about stepmothers? Because every stepmother is evil in these, correct?
Yeah.
You know, and where are the original mothers? Did the dads kill them? I mean, what's going on?
Probably.
Yeah.
According
You
to
know?
all of these comments in the thingy, yeah, half these people killed their. So.
Well,
I
if you
noticed
go
one thing about Disney is they have a tendency to not have, you know, kids with moms. They're
Yeah.
like, why is that?
Children? Yeah,
That's
exactly.
creepy.
I know why that is.
His dad died.
It's because
He
Walt
had a
Disney didn't Walt Disney's mom die?
What?
Didn't Walt Disney's mom die?
Oh,
We're getting
maybe.
deep now.
Oh, I don't know. Possibly.
And he was I think he was grappling with his mom's death, and that's why that made it into so many of the movies.
Probably.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, the other issue that I had with the Disney is that all of the girls were like 16, 17.
Well, that's when they married him off then.
Yeah, I know. But like nowadays, like you look and you're like,
oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you'd be going to jail for that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, what, Sleeping Beauty was 16? Because she pricked the spinning wheel on her 16th birthday?
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And I think Snow White was supposed to be like 15 or 14.
Rapunzel, right?
Yep.
I thought she was, wasn't she 18?
I don't know.
I think she was. I don't know.
Okay.
I think they've gotten older.
So it deals in the comments. Yes, Walt's mother did die in the house he purchased for her. Hey, he blamed himself.
Oh, wow.
But you know, I think that there would be a different way to honor her.
This
instead
wasn't
of,
honoring her. This was working through his psyche.
killing off Bambi's mom and, you know, having everybody else, you know, be
By
a
the
single
way,
parent or.
I have margaritas. Because I can have margaritas on this show.
I have wine.
Look at that.
If we're allowed to drink, cheers.
I have an old fashioned because that goes with my age.
So I think a lot of the mothers in fairy tales died in childbirth because that was a pretty common thing.
Good point.
Middle
Okay.
Ages.
Okay. That makes sense.
And I want to rewind to Peter Pan because I have stuff to say about Peter Pan.
Yes, please.
So J.M. Barrie, not getting into some of the things.
Here's a picture of what I found, Peter Pan.
So his brother passed away when he was a kid. And J.M. Barrie's mother was obsessed with his deceased brother and the fact that his brother kind of died when he was perfect and angelic and that he like stayed at that age, like stayed preserved at that age in death. And if you look at Peter Pan, it's very easy to kind of see the allegory of Peter Pan's kind of this angel of death going around stealing children. And they're going to like this sort of messed up afterlife. And it gets really dark when you think about it in those terms, but it was definitely James Barrie grappling with his brother's death and the nature of immortal youth and this idea of his brother wanting to live forever. And there's also some obsession with the neighbor children, and he kind of wrote it for them too. And one of the neighbor children, he kind of put I think patterned Wendy after her. And
Yeah, the strange obsession of wanting Wendy to be his mom. And then when I was listening to some of the stories behind Peter Pan and hearing that the author had wrote a note to one of the boys, I'm just like, I should not be hearing this because now it gives me a whole new perspective on the whole Peter Pan story. Wow. And it's also very cringeworthy and remembering the story behind Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You want to preserve in your mind these stories that are for children and hope to God that they have good intentions, but just the pedophilia behind it, just no.
Wasn't Alice in Wonderland written off of a little girl named Alice that some creepy guy was like obsessed with? And
her mom actually banned him from seeing her.
That's so sad.
And I think it's because of the pictures that he took of her.
Oh, that's so sad.
Okay, guys.
I'm sorry, Keisha.
I'm not. No. Ah.
I know, and I loved Alice in Wonderland, and I'm like, wait, but am I not allowed to love it anymore? Because God.
No, you're allowed to love it.
No.
This is the exact reason why we say you need to separate the art from the artist, because it's like
death of the art.
We can
la 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 la.
Like Harry Potter. Now you can still enjoy the story, but hate the author.
Or Lovecraft.
Oh boy, let's not. That's
okay. D. She has a very different mindset than most people, and she doesn't like a certain group of people, and other people think that you shouldn't like her or her work because she doesn't agree with certain types of people. And I have actually been called out on this because I wanted to play the new Harry Potter game, and according to that means I am a bigot.
I don't think
play the game.
See, I don't know. Like I don't know if that is true. Like I'm still a fan of Fantastic Beasts. I love that movie. I haven't read the books. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't gone out of my way to read the books, but I love the movie of the Fantastic Beasts. But again, separating the art from the artist is very important.
You hate the game, not the player, right?
Yeah. I think you can still play the game and enjoy the world that was built around it, but pay no attention to the person behind the curtain.
Well, and ultimately, everyone has to make that decision for themselves, and it's a little different with living authors because your money still is going into their pocket, but it still comes down to no one should be able to tell you what decisions you should and shouldn't make.
So trying to not make this into about that, but a lot of it is religious background and her religious beliefs. And a lot of people don't realize that her and I have the same religious background, and they're like, well, it's because she's this, and I'm like, I'm also that, and that's what we are taught in that specific thing,
right?
Is that we're not supposed to like basically people that are different. Like we still love them, but we're not allowed to agree with them, type of thing. And I'm like, maybe it's just that her religious convictions type thing.
And
But-
maybe she hasn't unlearned that yet or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
I had to spend lots of years unlearning things, guys.
And we all,
Hey,
yes,
I think unfortunately that's a lot of us too.
absolutely, especially women. Yep, for sure.
and it's harder when you're doing that in the public eye, and
Yes.
we're all a work in progress. So that's why, I think it's unfortunate that people, it's such a hot button topic right now.
Yeah.
So since it is
I
on
did some research. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since this is kind of the topic, so our movies are form of fairy tales now.
I think
Like
so.
a
Yeah.
lot of the time, we don't have just fairy tales that we tell our children because, like back then, that was their form of entertainment.
Mhm.
Is they didn't have TV and book, like they had books and stuff like that, but they didn't have TV and radios and stuff like that. So in order to pass along information and give people something to do, they would tell stories, and that's kind of like how. But since we don't really do that anymore with our children, at least a lot of people don't, like, are movies just the form of fairy tales for us now?
Well,
Absolutely.
you go through the basic layout of a movie, and it's, obviously building the first bit of it. And then about an hour and 5 minutes into it, it's like that max where the whole world falls apart in it. And it's like, if they were in love before, then something happens and, it breaks them apart. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, there's that come to Jesus moment where we get back together at the very end. And then everything's, hunky dory at the very end.
Yep.
So it's the same story with all of it. I think, yeah, you're right. It's all a fairy tale completely. Even for adults, even the Hallmark Channel, that's our fairy tales,
Oh yeah.
And they only have like 2. No.
It's all the same story though.
I will watch every Hallmark movie, no matter how many times it repeats itself.
Because it's soothing.
I'm broken. I am. I will literally
We're
watch
all
the
broken.
same.
That's how the light gets in.
Girl moves into a small town and falls in love with this farmer dude, and I will watch them all.
It's relaxing. And you know what? Superheroes are our version of mythology, and we keep remixing it, but it has the same themes, it communicates, and it kind of reflects our culture as it evolves. It's kind of the same thing. Like the unique thing though is that our storytelling is not just cultural, but there's money involved and there's corporations involved. So that's kind of where it gets interesting. I'm veering a little off topic, so I'll get back on topic.
We never stay.
We've been really on topic so far, actually.
I have been trying my hardest. So half of all of our people normally have like ADHD, so we have never stayed on topic.
Oh,
ever.
I definitely.
But I know there was a comment about Pinocchio earlier, and like the original story of Pinocchio is even like it's like how to. It's almost like a how-to guide of child abuse. Like the amount of craziness that's in that story. It's like I love that story in the view of Disney. But yeah, just I think yeah, I know it's. I'm trying to keep track of all the comments as well, and thank you very much, you guys, for.
Eli also posted topic.
I love Eli's comment. That says we just want to escape. And I agree. That's why I go to TV. To just to kind of escape a little bit, go to movies, and I mean, I am so embarrassed to say this, but before Dee called me tonight, I had put in Sweet Home Alabama just to watch Josh Lucas and Reese Witherspoon. just because it's a feel good, it's comfortable,
Yeah.
it's an escape. And no, is anything bad going on in my life? Absolutely not. But I just wanted to kind of go back to that comfortable place and watch that tonight and see a hot guy on TV. I
That's
guess.
so funny. You guys are talking about like Hallmark movies and like Sweet Home Alabama. I put in Jurassic Park. That's what makes me feel good.
Nothing wrong with
The
that.
dinosaurs.
Hey, Jeff Goldblum is sexy, so.
My comfort movie is The Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah.
I told my husband that David Bowie was going to be my next husband.
He's dead. I'm just saying.
No. He's still in the labyrinth.
Right.
So the day that he died, the day that he died, my husband was the one that broke the news to me. He came in from work. He works night shift. He came in from work and I was sleeping in bed. And he gently woke me up, like as gently as possible. And he was like, honey, I need to tell you something.
That's so sweet.
And he was like, David Bowie passed away. My brain went, I got online and I was like looking it up like a crazy person. And I was like,
can't be real.
But
So
I mean,
I don't
that was
know
the year
how
that
old
we
he
lost like several
still
people to cancer all at once, and my brain just could not hold it together.
Nope, the aliens just took them home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I felt too. It's like, no. What
too
broke
good for this
me was losing David Bowie, and then just hearing his. I literally heard his song at work a few moments before I heard the news. I'm just like, wait, what? So yeah.
Well, I didn't even know. So.
Oh.
Did you just find out? I'm sorry.
Did we just tell you?
I mean, yeah.
Santa Claus is not real, D.
la 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 la.
I know. I can't hear.
Hey, you have to be careful. There's a lot of children that listen to our podcast.
There are. Oh, I hope not.
Oh,
If there are any
go to
children,
bed.
turn it off. Turn it off.
The only children that listen to our podcast is my children, and they're already broken. So we're good.
Mine too, Keisha. Willow was talking about like how who would tell their kids this stuff. I'm like, my son sits all day and looks up like Five Nights at Freddy's and horror videos. He's 11. When he was 9, he got mad. Well, he insisted on watching The Ring, so we let him watch The Ring because he's loved horror. So we sat down and watched The Ring with him. He giggled through it. It's PG-13, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm not the only one with broken children. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah. And then he threw a fit because we wouldn't let him watch The Shining or Saw because we're like, no, buddy, The Ring is one thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not old enough to watch
all
Saw.
those when I was like 5.
It's
my
so much.
favorite childhood movie.
Well,
That
if you
explains so
can
much.
still find a VCR,
It's
to
in
let
my
the ring
living
still
room.
scare you, then
Right?
Does not everybody have a VCR in every room?
No, honey,
No.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, here's a face that I haven't seen in a while. Grant.
Hello, Grant.
Hi, Grant.
Yeah, he actually got bored halfway through the movie too. Like at first he was giggling. I was like, Logan, is this scary? He's like, scary. And then he got bored and just won.
Before bed every night, Dolores goes, Mommy, can I watch Scary? And I go, yes, honey, we can. If you're curious as to how my nights go, the other night she made me watch this entire series of like scary ghost creature things. And then I had to go out by myself to shut the animals up.
Oh
Like I have to go out in the barn and shut the animals up. And I go out there, one of my animals is bloody, and there's this screeching noise going, and I was like, what in the crap is that? So For those of you that don't know, that is the lovely sound. That is not accurate, by the way. That is the lovely sound of a skunk stuck in a feed bag.
Oh my gosh.
All I hear is this screeching coming from one of the feed bags and from the bag. And I was like, cool. My daughter just made me watch all this creepy stuff, and now I'm gonna go over there and figure out what's in this bag because I am that
Guys,
person.
we host a show called Cryptid Crunch, and she doesn't send me this stuff so that I can play it on the show.
Right, you should have been taking video, Keisha. Just in case you died.
Okay, I am over halfway due for a baby, so I've got a huge stomach. I'm climbing over all these bags of feed by myself in the dark, going towards this sound that sounds like something's dying.
That's terrifying.
I get there and I'm like shaking the bag trying to get whatever's in there unstuck. A skunk pops out and I'm like, hey.
Oh. How you doing?
We just kind of stood there and I stared at it for a second and I was like, be a little bit more careful, okay? I just stared at it for a second and then slowly, nonchalantly walked away because my turkey was freaking out behind me. My turkey, it sounds like she's barking and it's arr, 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 arr. So after I got the skunk out and I was like this far away from the skunk, I went over to my turkey and I was just like caressing my turkey like I do.
That's what they call it nowadays.
And I was like, well, I made it inside alive and I didn't get murdered. And
So, why was your animal bloody? Was it because of the skunk or what?
no, so we have a mink that is stuck in it's in our barn and it keeps trying to kill off our animals. And it tried to get one of our ducks, and our ducks are pretty bad butt. And so our ducks will fight. They killed off all of the chickens that they could get to because the rest of our chickens roost up in the rafters of our barn. So they couldn't get to the chickens. So they tried to get one of the ducks because the ducks sleep on the ground.
Good for the ducks.
The duck was like, and I think the duck and it just got into a huge fight. So, but needless to say, my daughter makes me watch all these creepy things and listen to all of these creepy stories.
What the
like
fuck?
Her favorite story to read before bed was the Telltale Heart.
Your daughter and my son would get along so well.
Arranged marriage. Oh wait, that's illegal. Sorry.
No, I think we can still. Do you have a donkey to trade? Because I would love a donkey.
I have rabbits.
That's all. That's all
I do have rabbits, but I mean, rabbits are pretty darn cute. So
they are.
I
Pretty
could always
darn cute.
have more rabbits.
I'll think about it. I'll think about
So
it.
the takeaway
Wait,
is
you got the
that
daughter,
Dolores
so
is
you
worth a
get to
donkey
trade.
and a couple rabbits.
Wow. Yeah, we're keeping.
So she's
to the topic.
here in spirit tonight because she's spending the night at her cousin's house. But that is my
Oh, she's so cute.
Aww.
daughter.
They're cute when they're young and then they grow up.
The best thing from the night. I'm so glad that I retired from counseling before these kids grow up. I love you, Carl.
Carl, you thought it was just my children? Kelly's over here trying to she's showing that I'm not the only completely awesome parent out here.
Yeah. I have another story.
Oh, goodness.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was doing a photo shoot with vampire teeth, and Logan walked in and looked at me and just got this big grin on my face, and I took the teeth out so I could talk. I'm like, oh, does mommy have scary teeth? And he made a chomping motion at me and was like, scary teeth, yeah. And then the next day I was talking to him about it, and I was like, so what's your favorite monster, Logan? Because he had been watching monster videos. Very on brand for him. He's like, mommy.
My kids call me a different word.
Oh boy.
So on par with that, Dolores tried out for cheerleading like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and she had a cheerleading thing. She's 5. One of the other moms was sitting behind me, and Dolores had to, of course, she's not great with so the person in charge of the cheerleading tryouts had to cart her around by holding her hand because she is psycho. And so as she was going past me, I was like, honey, can you try to tone it down a little bit? And she just goes,
yes.
And
awesome.
All of a sudden, I just hear from behind me, did your daughter just growl at you or hiss or something? And I was like, yeah, it's normal. And I was like, apparently I broke my children. And it's probably got something to do with all those fairy tales I tell her before bed.
Well, I guess whenever you make it up here to go hunting for the Beast of Bray Road, you're going to bring her.
Yes, the kids would get along great.
See, arranged marriage.
Kids, what kind of songs do you guys sing to your children at night? Because
that's a good question.
Skinner.
Your daughter what?
Sorry.
What did you say?
What did I say? Leonard Skinner. All the way. But my kids are 32, so I don't get to sing to them anymore, unfortunately.
So my daughter's current favorite bedtime story, I don't even know if you can call it rhyme, that she makes me sing to her every night. It doesn't have a name. I don't know. My grandma used to sing it to me when I was little. So if you guys know this, let me know where it's from or if my grandma was just psycho. By the way, the grandma that used to sing me this is the one Dolores is named after. But it's last night and the night before, 24 robbers came to my door. I went downstairs to let them in. They hit me over the head with a rolling pin. I went upstairs to get my gun. You should see those robbers run. Some went east, some went west, some went to the cuckoo's nest. The cuckoo's nest is her favorite part, by the way.
Of course.
My favorite part. But she makes me sing it to her every night before bed. If it makes you guys feel any better, I also sing her the ABCs every night before bed. So I mean, I also sing to
balance it out.
Hebrew. So like we have a very weird schedule. Like she is very she functions the best on a schedule. So we stick to a very strict schedule. And so I sing almost the same exact things and say the exact same things every night. And so I go from the ABCs to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star to Last Night and the Night Before. And then there's this beautiful song that I sing to her in Hebrew. It's called Hinamatov. And, you know, it's about living in one world of peace because, you know, why not throw one of those in there?
Yeah,
there is another one that my grandma used to sing me called Playmate. So Playmate, come out and play with me and bring your dolly 3. Nobody knows that? Anybody? No? Okay.
I know a different version of that song that's really dirty.
Oh,
bring it.
Of course you do.
Now, okay, after the show, Willow, you're going to have to like... And then
That's okay, Keisha. I don't
sing
or
to
read
her the
myself.
song. Oh. I mean, Dolores just like I sing to her, I read her a story, and then so I hum to her. I hum obviously one of the songs from The Night Before Christmas. And then I also hum a song from Anastasia. And then she like passes out. So but every night I also read to her from this collection of stories. And like I said earlier, her current favorite story that I read to her was A Telltale Heart. So, I mean, I'm doing great at this parenting thing.
I just give my kids melatonin and put them to bed.
Melatonin for the win, y'all.
Better than giving them tequila.
So my daughter only like not even exaggerating. My daughter only eats like 5 foods, and it's plain bread, plain noodles, egg whites.
She likes white.
Yeah.
So she's very particular about what she eats.
Color. Yep.
And so like I've tried to give her things like that, but she just refuses to eat it and spits it out. Like even if she's on her deathbed and she has like the flu, she will refuse to take medicine because it does not have the right color or flavor.
Tequila's white.
That's what I said.
That's what we said. Tequila's white.
Blanco means white.
We don't have any alcohol in our house.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you can't be that far from a store.
I have plenty
actually,
here.
my closest store, I live in the middle of nowhere, so my closest store is like 40 minutes away.
Raise another child. You'll get some in the house.
I mean, she's about to.
I've got a 13-year-old, a 5-year-old, and one on the way. How many more children do I have to raise?
Well, if you hadn't done it yet, I'm really proud of you.
I'm 2 ahead of you. I mean,
Just wait till they get cars, then you'll have it.
yeah. Girl, I got 5. Why do you think I'm at Cheryl's house?
I want like
got
9 more
alcohol.
kids, okay? I want 9 more kids. I know I'm a broken individual, but they're cute and I enjoy them.
They are cute.
And snacks. No.
And you need your own baseball team.
Very true. But yes, my children are thriving, you guys.
My dogs are.
Hey, that's
I'm beginning to think that all these nursery rhymes and fairy tales that you guys tell your kids is perfectly normal, and they're going to be raised just fine.
So most of them, like, you don't really like, Ring Around the Rosie, whatever. They're fine. You don't think anything about it. The only one that I ever questioned was Rockabye Baby, because you have a cradle in a treetop. And I'm like,
then what happens?
Yeah.
The bough breaks.
Yeah, and the cradle falls.
And the cradle falls.
And down goes baby, cradle and all.
Cradle and all.
Like,
And this is what we sing to babies to lull them to sleep.
Yeah, something's wrong with this song. Like,
Again.
I'm like,
I sang Skinner.
I really wish my sister was in the comments right now. So I was always a broken individual when I was younger. And so my parents were split, and when I would go visit my sister, I would sing these things to my sister to sleep. And one of the things that I sang to her every night, and she made me record it when I got older so that people listen to it, was, "Everybody run, the homecoming queen has got a gun, stop Debbie, Bill, powder burns all over his head. An hour later, the cops arrived. By then, the entire Glee Club had died. No big loss. Should have seen what they brought to stop her. Tear guns, machine guns, even a chopper. Throw out and reward and come out of the float. Debbie didn't listen to what the cops said. She aimed and fired. Now the math teacher's dead." I was really excited, but kind of a relief. I mean, I had this big test coming up next week. And the whole
You asked what songs our children would sing. I think you just answered your question.
Yeah. So yes, it is Julie Brown. Thank you, Rich. So thank you for knowing who it is, because everybody's like, "What in the world are you singing?" And I'm like, it's a legitimate thing, guys. I didn't make this up, okay?
This is not like some repressed desire of yours to be crowned homecoming queen.
But I mean, like, I think every generation of kids have these weird songs that we skip rope to. We do like the hand clapping thing. Like, I remember being in school and doing like down by the riverbank with the hanky pank, and I just like, and then thinking back to the lyrics is like, wait a minute.
So,
Yeah. Mama
this
goes,
may
"What are you
be,
thoughts on our chest?" Y'all
I
don't
think
know.
it just might be my family, but so for those of you that don't know what Insane Clown Posse is,
Oh, I
Yep.
know.
I
my
do.
cousin used to sing me to sleep with the songs. So I
How?
feel like how I still listen to it on a
How
regular
can you
basis.
fall asleep with that?
Okay, but have you met
Okay.
Keisha?
D, have you met me? Okay.
I know, but I mean, I'm just like, I would not think that would be soothing.
It actually is pretty soothing.
Okay.
But so I guess each generation has their own version of nighttime fables and stuff like that. It just gets scarier. It doesn't get better.
No, and I'm, and I was telling my husband today, I'm like, Peter Pan would make a great horror movie. And he goes, no, let's not do that to Peter Pan. I'm like, why? We've already done it a couple times with the Little Red Riding Hood.
Well, and Peter Pan was a villain in Once Upon a Time, and it made so much sense. I was like, finally, yeah.
Right. Yep.
Oh,
Also, I agree, Tinkerbell, totally the villain in that movie. Like, my gosh. And then Disney just keeps pretending she's a sweet pixie, and I'm like, she was gonna straight up murder Wendy.
Seriously, evil little.
Yep. Yep.
ho ho ho.
No, don't call me that in front of all these people.
Sorry, I thought if it was okay behind the scenes, it was okay on. Okay.
So Cheryl, because we don't know enough about you, what fairy tale do you think would make a good horror movie?
Hansel and Gretel for sure. I mean,
Didn't they make a horror movie?
They have one, I think.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
With
Sorry, good.
Wasn't it
I don't know,
Belle?
they kind of made it into like a steampunk movie.
Yeah,
that'd be
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Ooh,
with Jeremy
that's-
Renner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
He did a really good job with it, but it could definitely be more horror movie-ish
I know,
though.
but, okay, I'm going to get off the Grimm for a second. I'm sorry to get off topic because we've stayed on it so well tonight.
I know, right?
But y'all, Romeo and Juliet, okay?
Oh yeah.
Think about the plot line behind that one. You
So
know,
dark.
I'm like, it is horrific, the whole thing. And
I like it.
Oh, I love it. But I mean, why are we celebrating like the love of these kids that got together for one hot summer? And
It is not a love story. It's not the greatest love story ever told.
No.
It is a joke.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then,
a tragedy.
we're not celebrating all these people that have been together for 40 years and married and lived together and, and all of that. And we think Romeo and Juliet is the greatest love story ever. No, they freaking died, people. I mean, they
And they didn't even know each other that long.
exactly.
They started a war with their families.
They were only doing it because their families did not want them to be together. It was probably not real love. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I went out on a limb, people. I'm sorry.
I really liked it was really short-lived, but they did a TV show Still Star-Crossed, and it was after Romeo and Juliet were dead, and it showed Verona grappling with the war, and basically it followed Rosaline and Benvolio. They were like kind of forced into an arranged marriage by the prince who was trying to like keep the peace. It was so good though, because it really picked apart all the intricacies of the Capulet and Montague feud. And oh, I'm so mad. I'm still so mad that show got canceled early. Okay.
And I absolutely hated the Leonardo DiCaprio version of Romeo and Juliet.
See, I loved it, but I was big into Leo back then.
Well, that was just weird to me.
It was weird.
Because it was like, I thought they were going to like dumb it down and talk in like real people language, not Shakespearean language.
It's Shakespeare.
Yeah, but it was like modern day Shakespeare, because it all took place in like modern day, but they still spoke the way they did in Shakespeare. And I was like,
I don't know. I didn't do the whole fall in love with Leonardo DiCaprio around that time. I honestly, he kind of annoyed me.
I'm with you, Willow. I was not a Leo fan.
You know what? You two knew before the rest of us knew.
And now it's like now reality's hitting where it's like, so that's
gross.
it. That's his flaw.
He's gross.
We'll tell you after the show.
Oh, what am I looking here? What is happening?
Leonardo is kind of sketchy when it comes to younger women.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I saw
I'm
that
sketchy
now.
when it comes to younger men, so. Sorry. Okay, I'm never going to be invited on again, am I?
No,
believe me,
you're welcome to come on anytime.
This is nothing.
This is a normal thing for us. Just throwing that out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would call it awesome because I'm sure we legitimately have a shrink in the comments, and the entire time I imagine he's just like, you know, that gif of or that video of the guy banging a pot on his head.
I think this comment suits us very well. Explains so much.
What is the
Thanks,
last
Carl.
thing about the Wizard of Oz? A little girl joins 3
Hobos.
hobos to murder 2 women over a pair of shoes.
Also,
Have you
Linda.
ever seen Louboutin?
Linda is a villain.
You know?
Linda is
I
a
like
villain
it.
in the Wizard of Oz. Okay,
Yeah.
like who is happy about someone getting murdered? Dorothy lands a house
Wait,
on the Wicked Witch of the East, and she's like, "Cool."
I know the little people were happy though.
Everyone in the Wizard of Oz in Oz is kind of sketchy, okay?
The little
And I think
people
the
were
Wicked
happy.
Witch of the West is not as bad as she's made out to be. I mean, there's a whole musical about that,
It
obviously.
was just a dream, so it's fine. It doesn't matter. It was just a dream.
What?
Yeah, she woke up. It was a dream, and you were there, and you were
I'm
there.
not in Kansas anymore,
Yeah.
are we, Toto?
Yeah, it was just dreaming. So it's fine.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow.
I like it. Next time you're on the show, you have to specifically only talk in that voice for the
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I love the Wizard of Oz, but I love the musical of Wicked so much better.
I so want to see Wicked. I've never seen it.
I have
wanna
not
see
seen it.
so bad.
But I need to. There's going to be a big
So good.
screen version eventually.
Oh,
It's it's in the works. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Fun.
I love Donna. You think the movie is bad? You should read the books.
The books are darker. They are.
There's a book?
There's
The
multiple.
books are
There's a whole
generally
series.
darker. Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's very much similar to Alice in Wonderland, where it's like takes you for a ride for sure.
Down the rabbit hole?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, here we call that a Yeti hole.
Oh, thank you, Keisha.
All 3 of them.
On this show, we call it the Yeti hole.
16 of them. There's 16 Wizard of Oz books. Are you kidding
I
me?
thought you meant 16 Yeti holes, and I was like, "There's that many Yeti holes."
Yetis do not have 16
Yeah.
holes. I'm pretty sure. I'm not a Yetiologist, but where would they put those 16 holes? Like,
I don't want to know.
Light 'em up.
By all the fur. Oh my gosh. Oh,
it's possible.
we need
I don't know
help,
Yeti
guys.
biology.
So
Where's the therapist?
I think we should close the night out with our own Ma Miller singing a fairy tale of that her family sings.
Now out of his grave there sprang a fine tree. Oh, there sprang a fine tree with the best looking apples that ever you'd see. Come a high down, oh down, diddle day. Now when they were ripe and ready to fall, oh, and ready to fall, there came an old woman and she gathered them all. Come a high down, oh down, diddle day. Now her
That's funny.
apron was black and her bonnet was straw. Oh, and her bonnet was straw. She was the darndest old woman that ever you'd saw. Come a high down, oh down, diddle day.
That woman has such a beautiful voice, and yeah, I don't know I don't know the origins of that song, but her family has, according to what she said in the chat, her family has different lyrics that they sing to their children, and yeah, it's a long song apparently. So yeah. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight on Cryptic Crunch. Thank you, Dee and Cheryl, for joining us last minute.
Thanks for having me.
And ladies, thanks for wearing the crown.
Do we want to do a little bit of an outro and where to find
Oh,
us?
yes. Kelly, please let us know where we can find you.
Phoenix Sisters cosplay on everything, and as I mentioned yesterday on Back of the Cereal Box, I'm going to be launching an Indiegogo to fund an audiobook for my first novel, Scorcher, probably in a week or two. So follow my social media. I'll be announcing everything at Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, or just check my website, kellygettner.com. That's KELLYGUENTNER. I'm really excited about it. The two narrators I have signed on are really talented. I just need to be able to pay them what they're worth. That's what the money is for.
Awesome. D Bar T, Cheryl, what do you guys, where can we find you guys, and what do you guys have planned for the next little while?
Usually by the bar.
Yeah, she lives like 5 minutes from me, so it's like, hey, coming over to your bar. Actually, I mean, D-Bar Photo on all the platforms, and that's where I'm at.
Yep, and Back of the Cereal Box.
Back of the Cereal Box.
And I actually get to do a cameo on Back of the Cereal Box on March 4th, I believe. So I'm so excited about that. And I am CMDOG at all of your normal things, and it's CherylMorganOfficial.com. So I am a little more serious on a few other platforms. So, but thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for joining us. Keisha, what do you have planned for the next little while, and where can we find you?
I'm gonna pop out a baby.
She got it.
So
yeah,
right now I'm actually working on several different things. There's a nonprofit that I do every year called the Twitter Art Exhibit. So I am actually, since I am kid-free for the most part, other than the one in my womb, I am going to work on my artwork for that tonight. Basically, you donate a piece of art, they sell the piece of art, and then the money goes towards whatever charity is happening at that time. But so that's kind of what I'm going to work on right now. I've also been doing I am slowly trying to put together a cookbook. So that is a very slow going process because you have to like actually make things up and photograph them.
First?
Huh?
Do you boil the children first? Or...
Some of them are just filleted. Honestly,
Okay,
like
great. That's good. That's good.
it depends on if you want them like sushi form
Right,
or.
no, I like them crispy. Crispy's good. Crispy's good.
So, funny part is I actually don't eat meat at all, and so all of the it's basically going to be like a vegetarian vegan cookbook.
Awesome.
But so I've been kind of working on that. Past that, everybody kind of knows where to find me. Just Google my name, and I literally pop up everywhere. I'm like a rash you can't get rid of. So, yeah, just look up Acuff Creations or Keisha Acuff, and I pop up everywhere.
I feel that. I do too. Just type in my name. You'll find me everywhere.
Yep.
It's funny. Like I'm on a lot of social media platforms, and what's hilarious was Photobucket emailed me and said that you're about to lose your account or whatever if you don't log back in. And I'm just like, I haven't used Photobucket in like 12 years.
I didn't know Photobucket was still a thing.
I still use it, honestly, but that is because I like to log in and look at all of the ridiculous pictures I took that long ago and go, why? Why did I take those pictures? What is wrong with me? And then I saved a bunch of like, I was a teenager back then, and I was obsessed with emo boys. So like all of them are like emo boys with like their hair and but I go on there and I'm like, my past.
That's just like I a lot of the pictures that I have up on there, and you could probably find my old MySpace account as well. Just Google my name. But yeah, a lot of the pictures on my Photobucket is on my MySpace page, and they're like way back when I was tinkering around with my old webcam, and this thing was so grainy. I'm actually surprised you can make out that there's an image in there.
I feel
Mine
that,
was full of pictures of Tom Welling because I was sad and loved Tom Welling at that time. So yeah, I mean I still do.
So if anybody's curious as to what we're going to rename this show, it's going to be "What is Wrong with Me?" Kidding. We're keeping it Cryptid Crunch, guys. That explains so much more.
What is wrong with me will be the tagline.
I'm broke, don't fix me. That's what it should be.
I like it. We'll have to tell Johnny we need a new show and be like, okay, we just need to take all the brokenness and compile it.
Well, see, it's funny because like I was thinking about starting a new show specifically for animals, but then I'm just like, but then I have my Willow's Pillow Talk show that I kind of would like to keep, and I'm toying with the idea of all of going back to another interview show, but I'm just like, nope. I like Cryptid Crunch, and I'd like to expand that too.
You and Cheryl can do a spin-off show. I'm broke, don't fix me.
All right, you guys have a great night. Thank you for joining us, and you guys are all amazing. Have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Guys.